Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tsholofelo Modise. I'm with the program of South African Youth Exchange. I work for the Ritz Carlton Naples Golf Resort.
Hi, Tsholofelo. Just a couple of questions for our program. So, how has your experience in Naples been so far?
It's been a wonderful experience since it's for the first time me leaving the country, and I've in America. At first, it was a bit tough for me in terms of weather because it's too hot here, the humidity, so it wasn't easy for me to get used to the weather. But then, as soon as I'm riding a bicycle to work, so as soon as I started doing that, I got used to the weather, and Naples is wonderful.
What has been your highlights of America so far?
America is a perfect place. I've been all over. I've not all over, but then I've been to shops, I've been to malls, I've been to Marshalls. It's perfect where you can do your shopping. So there's a lot of stuff to do here, even though it's a quiet place, Naples, but then it's wonderful for somebody that comes from South Africa, somebody who has never been away from home, away from South Africa. It's very good because it's safe. You can actually ride your bicycle 12 midnight. So Naples, it's safe. It's perfect.
Describe a typical workday.
A typical workday for me would be I clock in. I have 2 restaurants to prepare, do mise en place for. So when I get to work, I have to make sure that I have all the things that I'm going to need for a la carte. So I start whipping cream since I'm working in the pastry section. I start just preparing whatever I will be needing in pastry for that night. So after that, I also have banquet. I have to make sure that I do breakfast and lunch banquet every day.
What was your best American experience so far?
My best American experience would be Thanksgiving. We don't have Thanksgiving back at home. So with me being here before Thanksgiving, I would say that is a wonderful opportunity and just perfect for me because I got to experience it, live it, and just explore it live, not on the movies like I usually see it in the movies. So it was wonderful. I had to be there. I got to be there with the guests. I was working that day, so it was just perfect and wonderful.
Where do you want to travel to in the United States?
I would really love to travel up north because I've never had a white Christmas like they call it in America. So I would really love to travel where there's snow so that I can experience that before I go back home.
Did America meet your expectations to the image you had of America before you left South Africa?
Definitely yes, it did. Because in America, customer service is important. They take their customer very seriously. So in America, if you're a customer, it doesn't matter how small the place is or how small you look, they even respect up until to a 3-year-old. They give you that experience, that quality that you feel as a guest. When you're at a hotel, when you're at a restaurant, you do feel that whatever you're paying for, you get service for.
What do you hope to achieve from the program?
Apart from me experiencing and exploring Naples and America, I'm here to learn. So I'm hoping to achieve my skills. I'm here to learn about American culture. So I'm also here learning a different culture since Ubuntu is about culture and just learning about other people. First, the house that I'm living in, I'm living with other culture apart from my culture. So I have to learn another language, which is also a learning something for me. So I'm learning my culture back at home, which is Zulu, and then I'm also learning American culture. So at the end of the day, I'll be earning 2 things at once.
What is the first item you purchased in America?
I purchased shoes, a J.Lo brand, Jennifer Lopez brand. Back at home I can't afford it, but then here it is amazing. The prices are just crazy. You just enjoy shopping because you can actually afford to go shop.
What was your first impression of Ritz Carlton?
The Ritz Carlton, it's an upstraight hotel, and people, everybody, the employees, they're just well groomed, formal, and it's a straightforward company, hotel, so to say.
What is your favorite dish to make at the Ritz Carlton?
My favorite dish is panna cotta because I work in pastry. So for the first time I tasted panna cotta, was very nice. But then coming to look at it, I can actually make it back at home. Just that the names that we have here for dessert is a bit different compared to what we call them back at home. So panna cotta is the best.
What is the hardest dish you make at the Ritz Carlton?
Warm chocolate cake. That is the hardest. That was the hardest to make for me because I was given a recipe and then I had to make sure that I follow up with the changes of the recipe. So I was following a recipe that I had to change with my chef. So I had to make sure that I focus, I concentrate, and I put my whole concentration on the recipe. So it was a bit difficult for me because at first some of the ingredients I didn't know them and then some of them I knew them. So I had first to learn the ingredients, then change the recipe, so it wasn't easy for me to do it.
What is your favorite dish to eat or buy in America?
I've never had lobster ever in my life. So for the first time I went to a restaurant when I got here, I told myself I'm going to do things different. So I went to a seafood restaurant, so I bought a lobster.
What is your impression of American people?
American people, they are very loud and they are outgoing people and they just express themselves. So American people, they're friendly, but then when it comes to us South Africans, some of us, we prefer just to keep quiet and not to express what we feel. So with them, they feel offended because whatever they want you to say, you have to say what's on your mind and you have to express what you're feeling.
What is the one thing you will miss the most when you leave America?
The one thing that I'm going to miss the most is work. I'm going to miss my chef, Chef Khan. At first, it was very difficult for me to work with him because he's, I can say Chinese. He's Chinese, so his English is not that good. So with me speaking a South African accent English and then with him speaking his Chinese accent English, it was a bit difficult for us to get along and hear each other. So it was like a communication breakdown. But then eventually we found a way of how to work it out and how to speak to each other. So I'm enjoying working with him. He makes sure that you understand whatever he's trying to say, and he will even take an extra mile, which the other chefs don't do. If you don't know where's the cooler, they call it a cooler, we call it a fridge. If you don't know where the cooler is, he'll go with you and then he'll show you it's here. Whatever I want you to fetch is here and it's this thing. Do you know it? Yes, I know it, chef.
Thank you very much, Tsholofelo.
Thank you, Harry.